My name is Michelle White, and this is my tutorial on the weather widget. Now hopefully you guys watched that overview of the layout editor and you sort of understand how to sort of get to this point where we are creating zones, we're adding widgets, and we're sort of stylizing them. So I've kind of skipped that first step where I created a new zone. So we're going to go ahead and add the widget right into there. And again, how I can do that, you guys, is I can just simply double click right into the zone. And I can come up here to says add widget, and then right down here in the bottom left it says weather. Now just like any other widget, I always tell people to sort of start from the left and work your way right. Now each widget does have certain or different, styling or configuration tabs, but it's really just important to sort of sit here, start from the left, and just kind of work your way right as far as configuring. So now we really don't need to worry anything about the widget info, so we're going to jump right into the weather settings. And this is where you can type in a certain zip code, or if you want to type in the city. As you can see that it is sort of registering in the drop down of maybe what city or state that you're trying to pull. So I'll just go ahead and choose the Burnsville, Minnesota, and I'm going to hit set. Now you do need to choose sort of what icon you want to sort of have that look. Again, as a default, you guys, it is just showing the first one, but you can simply click around to get the right one. Now you can also provide your own icons. It is sort of an additional fee, but if you are interested in that, definitely reach out to your sales rep and we can sort of customize a weather icons for you. Now the weather information is just not displaying is because we just need to sort of click away and click back. It just needs that time to sort of register, and so this is sort of the information it's going to be pulling in. All right, so the first tab was sort of configuring, telling the weather, hey, this is the city I want to pull in, these are the weather icons I want to pull in. Now we can go to template. Now we do have a series of templates that you can pick and choose from. Again, as a default, you guys, it is just 3-day forecast, but you can simply click over here. Maybe you want columns, or maybe you want a 7-day. We do have template little thumbnails to sort of represent what it's going to look like. So that will sort of help you visually kind of judge what is, what's going to look good on your digital display. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the default just for this particular tutorial. And then I'm going to jump into style. Now we do have it broken up into individual, you could call them sections, but to sort of bring it or to take it to another level, we call these selectors. Now for anyone who does know CSS or has sort of a basic knowledge of HTML, every single one of our widgets, you can add your own selectors in. Again, this really does allow you to customize that widget exactly how you want. And I will dig into that in a little bit later in this tutorial. But again, that's sort of what this is on the left side. Now we sort of have default selectors here just because of based on what people have wanted to change. We obviously want to try to make it easy for our clients who don't have that sort of understanding of CSS or HTML. So as you guys can see, I do have sort of the like a WordPress or a Word doc where I can just say I want it in bold, I want this color, I want everything to be this font size. Now this is going to be pretty big because I just chose 80 series of fonts. Now keep in mind, I'm actually going to change this to sort of more of a dramatic color. Keep in mind, you guys, so as far as fonts, this is not a limitation. Don't feel like these are the only 5 fonts that you can choose from. We can pull in anything what we call a Google font. There's about 900 different fonts you can sort of pull from. Now there is a tutorial on how to sort of, get that font to sort of display on your widget. So feel free to watch that, but definitely don't feel limited to these 4 or 5. Again, you guys, we have line height, we have margin. If you do know CSS, again, I can click on this advanced version and I can come in here and do some raw CSS. Again, just to customize this however I want. So I'm going to hit OK, and then let's just sort of preview this. All right, so as you guys can see, my weather is displaying. Again, red probably wasn't the best color in a purple background, but at least that sort of gives you a representation of how you can customize the weather. Now, one thing I am just going to kind of dig into is for any of our clients who do know like CSS and they really do have a good knowledge of HTML. One thing I said just a little bit earlier was that you can add your own selectors. So for an instance, and this might not be a good example like this particular weather widget, where I've sort of used that is maybe where the schedule comes in. But again, you can see that when I highlight it, we have broken it up into different classes. Now, again, most of these classes are already in there, but for whatever reason, if there's not one, so let's just say this one wasn't in there, I can come in here, I can copy this. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm hitting Control C. I can come back into the weather styling tab, and I can add my own selector. And of course, you want to put the dot to represent the class, and then you can go ahead and just enter whatever, I want it bold, I want this color. Keep in mind that when you are adding, certain selectors, you might have to override some of the CSS that's in there, so you may have to put important. Now, again, I apologize for any of our clients that are like, oh my gosh, Michelle, what are you talking about? But for anyone who does know sort of that CSS or HTML, do keep in mind that all of our widgets, you can add your additional selectors in there. One thing too, just kind of the last and final thing of this particular widget is the particular icon image. So the icon image looked a little small in that preview tab. You can just come in here and sort of change it. Now keep in mind the max height is 110. So all of our icons can have the max limitation of 110, but again, you can change it in here. You can hit OK, and then you can preview it again. So that's sort of the rundown of the weather widget. If you guys have any additional questions, definitely give us a call. Thank you.